Hi, I'm Dr. Celine Gelgich.
And I'm Dr. Tori Miller.
Welcome to Breaking the Rules.
On Breaking the Rules, we talk about all things OCD.
Obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, impacts up to 1 to 2% of the population. We are here to provide not just education, but to inspire clinicians, families and people who are impacted by OCD to be able to access the treatment they need in order to get better.
Catch us every fortnight, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, Tori.
Hey, Celine, back again.
We're back again. How are you going today?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's hockey going?
Do you know what? It's not bad.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I play with I don't know, just a bunch of the best women, and we're all, I don't know. I just don't have time for like a highly competitive, hardcore.
Oh, no, you want to be fun.
I want to be fun. I want to be social, but I also like want it to be serious enough that we're actually also developing and all that we're not just like taking the piss or whatever. So yeah, I've just found the best.
Oh, that's so good.
Bunch of
that
women.
Sounds like a good balance.
Yeah. So no, it's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Transference.
Yes.
Spiraling.
Yes.
Aren't we,
Yes.
Celine? Do you know
We're
anything
laughing
about spiraling?
because, and I'm playing with these little letters and I'm avoiding eye contact because Celine spirals all the time. I did it. I went down a Celine spiral. It did. It made me laugh quite a lot, actually.
All right, tell us about it.
All right.
Tell us about your most
here's
recent
what
spiral.
happened, guys. Okay. Just be kind. Okay. So, it was 2:00 in the morning, as it normally is for me because I'm a night owl, which is really bad when you have a new baby. Anyway, usual 2 a.m. Was about to wrap up whatever I was doing, head off to bed, and noticed a post on social media about doubt and uncertainty. And so it was by a therapist in the States who also has lived experience. And I love those posts because there's so much richness to them.
Agreed.
And it's so relatable and all that sort of stuff, which is really, really lovely. Anyway, but as I was reading through this carousel, I found myself just going, fuck, how do I differentiate between doubt and uncertainty? And yeah, this is a good point. And yeah, actually, that might be true. And then I thought to myself, how am I writing my posts? So then I started scrolling through my old posts on social around how I've been talking about OCD and whether or not I've been getting it right.
Yeah.
And the information I was trying to convey and the message I was trying to convey and all that sort of stuff. And then I was like, oh, man, have I been doing this wrong? What's been going on? Have I misunderstood this entire time? And then I started laughing because I was like, oh, first of all, it's 2 a.m. Your brain's not working properly. Secondly, this got you good from the perspective of feeling that transference, which is what our clients feel, right? When our clients feel doubtful in session, unsure of what's going on, and just wanting answers. I really got pulled into that same exact spiral. And so then I started not just going down the rabbit hole of my old posts, but then I started researching stuff on the internet and going.
What were you researching?
The difference between doubt and uncertainty. Like idiot, I don't know. Where's my self-compassion? And looking through research articles and looking through old workshop content. And
really?
It really pulled me in. Okay, granted.
What have you been teaching as well?
What have I been teaching as well?
Yeah.
What have I been telling my supervisees? What have I been teaching other clinicians when they come along to workshops and stuff? Like, I really went down this rabbit hole.
Oh, mate.
And I think when I look back on it, I think it was because, and we've discussed this before, like when things are written with a lot of authority, it really kind of, and I think we talked about this in the car earlier.
Yeah, it gets me.
It gets you. It gets me too.
Yeah.
Like it really triggers that perfectionism of like, not wanting to stuff it up, not wanting to get it wrong, not wanting to stuff up our clients, not wanting to do wrong by them, all this sort of stuff. So I really noticed all of that coming up. And after like almost 20 years.
Yeah.
You
I know, right?
think you'd know.
You think you'd know.
You think you'd know. But granted, okay, I'm going to put it down to circumstance. Being really late, tired, fatigued, all that sort of stuff. Excuses, Celine. That's really just what happened. And so,
No, I bet all that matters.
yeah, exactly. And so really, when I reflected on it, I was thinking, okay, what is she talking about here? So then what happened was I pulled myself out of the spiral. But then I subtly stayed in it because I started justifying things to myself.
Reassuring yourself.
And reassuring myself.
Yeah.
Right? So then I went down this rabbit hole of, well, what is she talking about? Actually, she's referring to insight, doubt, like, you know, because the post, let me give you a little bit more detail and context into the post. So the post was a fairly long carousel, but it was trying to differentiate between when clients experience doubt and when they experience uncertainty. And this person's perspective was OCD is not really an uncertainty issue. It's an issue around doubt because and it's not wrong to a degree because it did used to be called the doubting disease. And a lot of the time people do know that their intrusive thoughts are irrational and that they don't make sense. And oftentimes clients will say, I know this is stupid, but when I'm in the moment, I can't help it. Like it just kind of the emotions pull me in and all that sort of stuff. Now, that's great when you've got insight. And a lot of the time our clients are insightful, which also doesn't dictate how severe the disorder can be. But there are also a fair chunk of clients who genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
Who are genuinely unsure and feel absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
Whether it be a real event type theme or whether they're questioning their relationship because they have genuine doubt as well as OCD doubt if they should be in it or not, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So like there are examples where there is uncertainty and we can never really know. Or if there are existential themes, how can we ever be certain around existential themes?
Yeah.
Right? So there are loads of examples where actually we are dealing with uncertainty.
Yeah.
And so we do need to encourage our clients to lean into that. So this post was kind of saying when it's, you know, not wrongful to say because they did acknowledge the nuance of it and all that sort of stuff, that it wasn't wrong to say that uncertainty is not part of the picture, but they were a lot more convicted that it's actually doubt.
Yeah.
And that we could be doing a disservice by using the words doubt and uncertainty interchangeably and all that sort of stuff, which I kind of agree with because there is a difference.
Yeah.
But I really noticed the spiral and then the reassuring myself afterwards, even though I thought I pulled myself out of it. And I was like, what is going on?
So
and then I was like, we need to talk about this in the podcast because I can see how a lot of clinicians would, because we consume a lot of information, right, would either experience the same sort of thing or when their client is bringing a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety, a lot of discomfort in the room, we get left feeling that countertransference happens. We get left feeling with the same.
Yeah.
We feel doubtful. We feel uncertain. We feel like we don't know what we're doing. We feel like we're out of our depth. We feel like we're getting it all wrong and we start looking for answers as to maybe we should try or maybe we should do ICBT instead or maybe I should do schema or maybe I should do this other thing or maybe exposure's not going to work. Maybe I need to soften it a little bit. Maybe I need to do some other thing.
Yeah.
Because it gets so messy.
Because it sounds like what you're saying, right, is that the content of the post at the end of the day was just interesting.
Yes.
It was a curious idea.
Yeah.
It was one person's perspective.
Yes.
And in the cold light of day, you can see it's a perspective shared by a clinician.
Yes.
You know, and it is food for thought.
Yes.
But in that moment, it was triggering for you because your sense of like responsibility to your clients and your trainees and your supervisees, your personal ego as a clinician and as a we can't say specialist, but we can't say expert. What can we say?
Someone who has a niche in working with OCD. Shift F7. Where's that thesaurus when you need it?
I want to be APRA compliant whilst describing you, but as someone who has a niche
interest
in and 20 years of experience working with clients with OCD, that, you know, your sort of your ego, your identity, all of this stuff is sort of on the line, as well as, you know, that enormous sense of responsibility you have and your perfectionism, etc., all got triggered like, what the fuck have I got this wrong?
Yeah.
And like what? Like is it humiliation, embarrassment,
Yes.
guilt, shame, all of those
All
things,
of the
right?
above.
Which
Yeah.
is, what you're describing is what our clients are going through, right?
Yeah.
And then you think you get your shit together and
Yeah.
you're like, snap out of this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're like.
And then the reassurance kicks in.
Well, none of us are immune to this, are
No,
we?
we're not.
No, none of us are immune to this.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No, which is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because we've all felt it and still do.
And what you're describing is something that, any of us could experience, right?
Mm.
And I think we all have probably some lived experience where we could, if we really thought about it, identify the same kind of thing. But you're so right also that as OCD clinicians, we've got to be really careful about how we respond to these things. We've got to have our own level of insight about our ability to spiral and to become perfectionistic or kind of dogmatic about how we treat OCD or about our knowledge, about our sort of what our drivers are, either in the room with clients or in our research after the fact, or, how we're approaching this, because that desire for certainty is kind of contagious, isn't it?
Yes.
And you were talking about the idea of transference before, partly our own countertransference, where our own stuff is kind of, triggered in within us.
Yes.
But also the transference we experience from our clients about wanting to be certain, wanting to reassure them, wanting to kind of reassure ourselves that we're good enough clinicians, that we know what we're doing, that we're treating sensibly, and that we can be we can really take on that kind of obsessive thinking and that compulsive behavior really readily, because it's in the room with us.
It's contagious.
And we're holding it for our clients, and we've got to be really careful, because if we are reactive to that as opposed to just curious and just like the curious observer, if we're really reactive to it, we're not doing our clients any favors.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Nor ourselves. Really, because we're getting lost in that. Yeah. And then we lose sight of the bigger picture. And the message that we start sending to our clients is, you're right, you can't cope with this. We do need to shift gears. This is too much.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to do something else because this isn't working. As opposed to standing back, observing what's going on and going, we're in it.
Yeah.
This is it. Saying hello to OCD. Yeah. And being the anchor the client needs to hold that space to then go, all this shit's happening around us and we're going to let it happen. Yeah. But I'm here with you in the shit. Yeah. And we're going to ride it out together. Yeah. And it doesn't mean white knuckling or anything like that, but how can we utilize what we've learned to help us through this process as opposed to getting caught up in it and feeling like we also need to shift those gears and do something to get rid of it, because it's not something to resolve.
No, because the sense of urgency actually can be very, very heightened in the therapy room.
And it's so contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it comes from parents or family members.
Yeah, there can be an awful lot of pressure that we can experience, and holding it is hard.
It is hard.
Holding it without reacting is really difficult, and delivering the disappointing news that we have to sort of stay the course, I think is really difficult. I think we all, fantasize about a magic bullet, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. I would love to be able to turn up to work one day and say, I figured it out.
We've got a cure for OCD.
We've got it.
Oh my gosh.
This is it.
Could you imagine?
Do this today and it'll be done.
Yeah.
And you're free.
Yeah. Be amazing.
Oh my God.
Could you just work on that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's not easy holding that line for our clients and being the anchor that they need.
Yeah.
It's really hard work. And I think too, especially when you're new to the space, when you're learning about it, it's really challenging not to get pulled in. Like sometimes I'll see posts on Facebook groups where there are young clinicians not even young, but like clinicians who are new to the OCD space. And I remember one in particular, they were like, I've been reading this textbook, but I'm wondering if it's outdated because I'm seeing all this other information popping up, and I'm worried that I'm doing the wrong thing with my client. And it was all well and good. It was exposure therapy based. But, someone like they were talking about hierarchies and then had heard that hierarchies aren't something that you necessarily need to follow. It's not that you don't have to, that you shouldn't do them. It's that actually a menu style is like, like what we've talked about.
It's just one method.
It's just one method of doing it. And so they kind of really got caught up in that.
Mm.
And then all this angst came up. And then all the comments followed in terms of everyone's different perspective and opinion, and all were valid and all were helpful and all that sort of stuff. But it's just so easily done.
Yeah.
You know. And this was a person new to the space versus someone like me who's been in the space forever, also feeling these things and still getting stuck in it. So I think sometimes we need to be aware of our own, not sometimes, a lot of the time. We really need to be aware of our own processes and what we bring to the room.
Well, maybe for people who aren't so familiar, what do you mean by aware of your own processes?
Your own triggers in terms of when something's happening in the room, what are you noticing is happening for you? What's your own commentary like? What urges are coming up for you? Are you noticing an urge to fix it or problem solve? Are you noticing an urge to avoid? Are you noticing an urge to want to soften and rescue? Are you noticing an urge to want to shut down for your own self, right? Are you noticing resentment coming up because the client is asking something of you that you know is not possible to do because it can't be resolved? Are you noticing frustration or anger? All of just being mindful of your own, those internal processes and what's going on for you, because that will then impact the work that you do and the choices that you make. And I'm not saying that we can't have those experiences. Absolutely. We're human beings. We're going to have those experiences.
I would actually argue that
we should be.
We should be having those experiences.
Because it tells us something.
If we are open to our clients and we are in the space with them and we are attuned to them, then we will be receiving.
Yes, because it means we're present in the session, right?
Yeah.
And so those experiences tell us very important information. The problem is when it starts to impact the choices that you make when it comes to treatment. So what we described earlier of getting pulled into the vortex and feeling like you have to shift gears or feeling like you need to change therapy styles or therapeutic methods or whatever else it might be, or softening the exposure or rescuing the client, whatever it is. So have the experience because it tells you important information. It tells you that you're being present with your client, as you mentioned, but then also make room for it.
Yeah.
We have to treat that we have to do what we're asking our clients to do. We're asking our clients to make space for discomfort, imperfection, anxiety, worry. We're making space for the embarrassment, the shame, the whatever else is coming up. So we have noticing it for ourselves, but also leaning into it and just letting it sit there while we then continue to hold space for our clients and be the anchor that they need. So it's like I'm holding my shit together so that I can then be there for you to also help hold your shit too. Yeah. And that's modeling, right? Because sometimes actually when that's happened to me in session, I've said to clients, especially when it's around vomit videos or like because when I hear the sound of vomit, I start dry reaching. And so I'm like, oh man, like I'm sitting with this discomfort. I want to dry reach right now, but we're in this together. Yeah. And so as opposed to noticing that and then trying to talk them out of that. Yeah. Or do something else. Yeah. Or soften the exposure and collude with it because I also find it disgusting. Yeah. And so going, you know what? You're so justified. No one likes vomiting. No way. We don't have to watch that. Yeah. Let's just turn the sound off. Yeah. Yeah. You know, we're still watching the video, but the sound's not on. So all of these processes, I think, are basically what I'm referring to and are important. So this one Instagram post sends me into a tears. Yeah. And now look what we're talking about. Yeah. Thank you, Instagram.
But you're right. Look, I have very distinct memories early in my career, but also then when I sort of started working at Melbourne Wellbeing Group and started really sort of immersing myself in OCD work of feeling strong feelings of inadequacy. And even though I had lots of years of experience, I was new to the OCD space. Yes. No, actually that's not true. I wasn't new to OCD. I was new to ERP. Yes. And so I was having lots and lots of feelings of inferiority and inadequacy. And so I was really overcompensating for that. And for ages, things like I'd read a book, right? I'd read a book and I'd be inspired by it, but it would trigger for me this like cascade of thoughts about like why didn't you know that? Why didn't you think of that? Or like I'd listen to a podcast and someone would sound so clever and I'd be like, God, everyone is so gifted. Everyone knows all of this stuff and you know nothing. You know, I mean, like forget the fact that these are people who have prepared for the episode or whatever, you know.
Not like us guys, we don't prepare.
Yeah.
We
So
just know it.
anyone who spoke with any kind of authority was just really triggering for me. And then I had to start observing how I was bringing that into the space with my clients, because it's one thing to kind of be motivated by this and go, oh, I've got a lot to learn. But I was definitely judging myself for not having that, which was my own process. But then I had to be really careful because I had an urge sometimes to, I don't know, to refer clients on, to defer to others as more expert and better able to treat than I was. I was anxiously sort of entering the therapy space, and I was sometimes, I think in the early days, worried about what I'd be asked, what would present, what would come into the room, so that I wasn't really fully present because I was too caught up in my own kind of anxieties. And so my own sort of mini spirals, as you're talking about, was really taking me away from the work and then
also impacting your ability to keep learning.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
you weren't giving yourself the opportunity.
By
like referring on or whatever else it might have been.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I was then also, I think, judging myself based on what was happening and transpiring in the room. So clients' progress, feedback from parents, even though I can look back now with wisdom and say, that was all fine. That was all fine. But I was coming away feeling like the urge to confess, to justify, to reassure myself. I was sometimes probably reassurance seeking, even from clients or parents. Not in a pathological way, but kind of like, does that make sense? Is that landing? Do you think that's something that you could do? Is this working?
How did your ERP go last week?
Am I a good clinician? Do you love me? Is this the best therapy you've ever had? Please say yes. Not really. I didn't really do that. But I wanted to do it so bad. I wanted to do it so bad. But this is sort of my own processes that then I was bringing into the room, and then I had to be really careful. So lots of supervision, but as you were saying, lots of just observation of what I was thinking, what my experience was, what was coming up for me, as well as then my own work in my own therapy to then go away and actually look at what was being activated and the origin story of that and why it was so that anyone said something and I'd automatically assumed that I was, an inadequate intellect. So
not good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So lots and lots of work, which now on the other side of that, well, the journey is forever, but I'm glad to have done it.
Yeah.
But I think that it is we can't prevent it, but it's such an important thing for us to observe. And I think it is true whether you're treating OCD or not, that these are processes that you're observing. But I think the reason that we bring it up in particular is because our clients bring so much uncertainty into the space. It's infectious, it's contagious. And so we have to watch that particular transference and that we are not responding to our clients' longing for uncertainty and our own kind of, a kind of desire to be perfect clinicians, that we don't compensate for that by trying to be certain and perfect in the room.
Because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's not what our clients need.
That's not what they need, and it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you.
I know. And in fact, accepting this, sort of that radical acceptance around, is modeling. Honestly, I wasn't sure I'd ever truly be able to accept the idea of imperfection.
Really?
And my perfectionism was so bad, Celine. It was so bad.
Yeah, I hear you.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was so hard for me to be humble and, it was exhausting keeping up the pretense.
Yeah, of course.
And so, I genuinely wasn't sure that I read it in the books,
of course,
clinicians are forever learning. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm going to know it all and I'm going to be perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. We don't know it all. No.
And we don't have to. And I truly believe it.
I think in that clinician space, I happily sit in that. Not knowing and all that sort of thing.
What about in the non-clinician space?
Except for that Instagram post.
Except for the Instagram post.
But in the non-clinician space, man, it took living with my husband. I love you. To get comfortable with lots of imperfection. It's a different story.
Yeah.
But bless, I find my little 3-year-old. She's so sweet. But I see so much of myself in her with her perfectionism as a 3-year-old. And she's like, yesterday she told me, she goes, Mama, this puzzle is perfect.
Oh.
And then she went, like this.
So satisfied.
So satisfied. And I went, it's really satisfying, isn't it, when it all comes together? But you know what? Messy is okay too.
Yeah.
And I took some pieces out and she goes, oh, no, now I have to do it again. Okay. Another time. Let's go do something else. And so to see it so young.
Oh, yeah.
Is
it's
really
quite instinctive, isn't it?
very instinctive. But it is satisfying because it's also the age where we want the patterns. We want the neatness, the completeness. That like based on where they're at, correct me if I'm wrong, it's understanding sequence and concept, like those sorts of concepts.
And also from a motor and sort of developmental stage, the ability to finally, like the cause and effect, to be able to kind of interact with the world, like then to have that independence and agency to be able to complete a task in its entirety and have that beautiful sense of satisfaction from look what I created, look what I did.
Look what I did.
Look what I have control over.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that?
Absolutely. Especially when, you know, when you first start in a colouring book and their motor coordinate like all over the shop. And I remember she'd like do a little bit and go, oh, no, you do it.
Oh.
And they'd be like, you're learning. It's going to be messy. And then she'd be like, oh, no, and she'd flip the page and want to start again. But now she's like, I can hear her going, I'm still learning. And she keeps going. And then like the mess outside the line slowly gets less and less. And she's going, I'm doing it. And I'm like, there you go. That's what happens when you keep practicing. We've digressed. But perfectionism for me outside of the workspace. And then it creeps into work as well. But happily be humbled any day at work. Yeah. But yeah, it's a rough trot.
Yeah, it is.
We have as clinicians. And I think because a lot of the OCD space, it's so counterintuitive to how we normally would help someone.
Yeah.
Like we purposely want to make someone feel bad.
I know.
When our instinct is screaming, make them feel better.
Yeah, make them feel
Make it go away.
Yeah.
Make them feel comfortable.
I know.
Like help, like, you know.
I know.
And so it's really challenging to get used to that as well when you're new to the space. Yeah.
All right.
Ramblings. Thanks, Instagram, for some gems of like some reflections and helping me process my.
No, that was fun. Thanks for bringing that in. Thanks for your honesty.
My little tiz.
It's fun to look at tizzes afterwards, isn't it?
Yes.
Not in the moment.
No, in the moment it was horrible. I was ruminating. I was like trying to sleep. I'm like, come on, it's 2:30. He's going to get up soon for food. I need to sleep. No, it was good. Not really, but
all right.
Now it was. Anyway. All right.
Until next time.
Yes, I hope you guys found that really useful. Please hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you next episode.